to Common Cocktails. I'm your host, Derrick Schommer. I got with me the Kurt, and I got with me Duck.
Hey.
We can give you names.
This is an old school episode.
This is old school. Doug, this is like, remember that episode Upstairs where you had like the tattoos and you had like the, that's rough, pony boy.
Yeah.
The Sazeracs? No, we were making something with
It was
Campari.
one tough cocktail.
You guys were swinging Campari back, and he was like, no way.
It was one tough cocktail.
One tough cocktail. So this is what we're going to do first. We're going to warm up for the week.
I like that.
All right, so the way we're going to warm up,
Get our sea legs.
this we reviewed last week.
Such
but
a
you guys
seaman.
weren't here for that.
Yeah.
No.
Just that semen. Always good that the Wigle guys get to see that. So that is what we tasted last
We're
week.
talking about Wigle.
You weren't here.
We're talking about Wigle and some semen.
That's a dick joke, people.
Here's the face. They then sent us, so I bought this.
Yeah.
And then they saw the video and they were like, you want to try these? I'm like, dude, yeah.
Don't
So
they?
this is organic wheat whiskey. This is a small cask series. I don't know. Maybe you actually, I didn't do any research because I was rushing to get all this
Well,
up.
do you want me to kind of like go into kind of a broader scope of what the deal is with Wigle? Because I've actually been at the distillery.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Okay, so
Hint of hop on this one.
the interesting thing about Wigle is it's made in Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Pennsylvania. But the thing that I find most interesting is that a majority of the people that if you go to your liquor store and you buy a rye, you're not buying a Pennsylvania rye. And it's kind of the essence of like if you bought a bourbon, 90% of the time you'd be buying a Kentucky bourbon. Now, it doesn't have to be made in Kentucky to be a bourbon, but the kind of the home base, the place where the appellations really kind of taken hold has been in Kentucky for bourbon.
Right.
Before bourbon was really founded in Kentucky, rye whiskey was founded in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the act of producing rye whiskey in Pennsylvania has been non-existent for a very, very long time. Until here?
Are these all rye? I didn't even know.
No, these two are wheat products.
This is wheat whiskey.
And this is our rye product. So I expect this to be very different than a traditional rye, almost to the point to where the only thing that may be considered similar would be like the Hudson product that's made in upstate New York. Right. Wheat products are very interesting to me. I find them awesome because a lot of people don't use wheat unless it is a byproduct of the end of the mash bill. So wheat is a very soft grain in the distilling process, and it gives it a very lush texture that's not spicy and it's not popcorny like the way that bourbon has with corn.
But the spiciness, I thought I normally get out of a rye, right?
Yeah, that's a traditional rye taste.
This one I've had. This is the one we reviewed.
So for all
That's nice.
For all intents and purposes, this is what America was drinking pre-prohibition wise. Like if you got a recipe that says whiskey, they're asking for something like this. They're not asking for all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I just found out? I have a canker sore on my tongue.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It'll go numb soon.
Oh, good. That's nice. It has
It is
a
a little
nice, beautiful, smooth finish.
For
Oak,
me,
a little bit of oak.
It's a little watery. It doesn't have the body, but that's because it's young. You'll find that as things age out, they get a little bit more texture to them.
Okay. It is soft.
If you do like a Willet, an older edition Willet rye, you find that it has a little bit more texture to it.
Jesus,
You can also tell that it's matured in small cask. It's not a 53-gallon barrel because you would have a much different color and texture to it.
Yeah, I could smell that.
Here.
Okay, so this is our.
This was a surprise because I didn't read the label. That's 94 proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough, Bodie boy!
That smells.
Well, the thing that you see how dark and rich that is. That is just. It's another example of them using small cask, and it's because the distillery that they work in is not huge. It's not industrial by any means. So by them using these smaller cask, they're getting a lot of color and they're getting a lot of oak. But it's not giving it the seasoning that an older barrel and a larger barrel would give it.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of. I'm not getting a lot of oak or vanilla or anything. It is definitely
I like that. Like
this is
with a cube of ice.
Well, this is very much micro distillery. This is your atypical. This is what a micro distillery product tastes like.
That's very
in the sense of wheat micro distillery product. There's a company called Dryfly. And they do Tiraconal, which is a white rye grain that's hybrid. It's like if white and rye and wheat like got together and had sex. It's called the Tiraconal.
no, that's called an orgy.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It's got a weird name to it.
Is it like Vucare?
But
I can't say that right.
The wheat in this is.
This smells really
It's
nice.
it's not for as high proof as it is. It doesn't burn that much.
It burns the first time I went to. I mean, it was compared to this.
Yeah.
It was immediately noticeable. Like the
You guys
the
get a burn on it?
Oh yeah.
I didn't. No.
I like that. That smells really.
Oh, maybe
awesome.
I'm out of practice.
Why? Because it burned. Oh, he's got to get his burn on.
You get your burn on.
This one smells better than this one though.
You and your syphilis.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can taste it.
I like hop.
Yep.
It's not over hop, like it's not crazy hop,
No.
but it's different.
It adds,
you can
like-
taste
It's got a sour component.
You know what it does?
You get a sour
You
component.
know the Jamaican rums that leave the faints in their distillation, like the Smith and Cross and those really like fainty Jamaican rums.
That have this.
That's what that does. It leaves that kind of faintiness to it.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It's almost like a
bite.
bitterness. It's like a bittering agent.
Yeah,
It is.
which is what a hop should
yeah.
kind of. I mean,
But
something
when you're
that brings
distilling it
people in,
into
right?
it makes it taste like almost like a Jamaican rum. Like I would use this as a substitute for like a Jamaican rum.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the, but the thing is that component that hops are pretty distinct. Like if you overhop something, you know.
Yeah.
This doesn't taste that way. This tastes very moderate. Like you get that earthy hop flavor, but it's not prominent.
Well, it
still
tastes-
I
tastes
wonder
like
what kind of hops they use.
I've tasted hops,
probably not a aromatic hop. Like
hop
Cascade or
gins
something.
and hop
Noble?
vodkas. I find that that's way more pleasant than the other two.
A hop gin.
Yeah.
Yeah, gin. I always think. Well, I guess hop kind of a flower, but I always think like more floral.
Well, that's way more pleasant than the other two because the other two were just like hops.
I think
in your
this
face.
takes the cake for aroma. Has like almost like a demerara smell to it.
I still think that's it's so
Yeah,
luscious. It's so luscious.
This is. I mean, these are good. Don't get me wrong.
I just think that-
they
So is
bring
this
their
more
own thing to
experimental
the
then?
table.
if Wigle,
This.
if Wigle had taken this product, put it in a 53-gallon barrel, and did like a 5-year period, that product would just be like knockout.
Yeah, this is really good. That's great.
Yeah.
$50.
That's worth it.
I saw it right away.
I would equate drinking that to drinking a single malt.
Yeah.
And the way I really was introduced to these guys, and I
They're
buried
bitters?
yes, they're bitters. I sell their bitters. So, like, oh, there they are.
They're hiding.
This is one of the most insane aromatics. Try that. So they have a raspberry. They have an orange.
Now you know the whole story with Wigle, right?
A mole.
You know what Wigle, like what
Yeah,
the person
I
it's
think
a
we talked
reference
about-
to?
Yeah, some dude got hung and his name was Wiggle.
No, Wigle was
Mr.
the
Wiggle!
person. He,
Yeah, I was
he was
just
the
like,
person
I
that
just
pushed
noticed
through
that.
the end of the whiskey rebellion,
Oh yeah, but I mean,
and
the
he
end
got
result
pardoned
is-
for it. Yeah, he was pardoned from it. He didn't die.
He didn't die.
He did not die.
He died. I guarantee you, he's dead.
Well, he's dead now. Well, you know, vampires.
true.
Vampires don't die.
See, isn't it like that? To me, this reminds me more of a
Oh,
Boger's.
you did it right.
Like it's got the. It has a lot
That's
of
a bitter.
It's
Cardamom?
That's herbal.
Super cardamom.
It's like a Boker
Yeah.
bitter, right? Like it's insane amount of bitter straight up. I mean, if you put it in a cocktail, it's tame. But when we did our aromatic, that was like boom. We were like, wow, that's got a lot of aromatic.
Honestly, none of these three products are going to be easy to find. But I think that if you are to find them on the back bar of somebody's place,
Try it.
yeah, they're fantastic. They're knockout product. This is a throwback to something that does not exist, that should exist, but
Right.
the industry killed it off. And the end result of it is that you get copies of rye now that are copies of rye that are copies of rye. They're all the same rye produced in the same place. And Wigle is using locally sourced grains
All organic.
in the birthplace of rye whiskey or American whiskey, the way that it should be. Rye is American whiskey, and they're doing something that's fantastic for the market. I think that Wigle is a wonderful, wonderful product, and I think that it should be more available to everybody across the market. But it's such a small distillery; it's just not possible.
But I bought this in Massachusetts. So if you're anywhere near North Chelmsford, Or Chelmsford.
North Chelmsford.
Not Chelmsford.
Then it's wicked close to
Not
you.
Chelmsford.
It's
If you
wicked
get
close, kid.
Wicked close.
But that means if somebody, and the funny
Chelmsford
thing
is wicked close to North Chelmsford. Like North Chelmsford
it is,
is
just north of it.
just north of Chelmsford. You can't miss it.
If you hit Haverhill, you went too far.
You
kid.
went way too far.
And if you call it Haverhill, you're way too far. So the
You know, my cousin's from Worcester.
no fucking shit.
Oh,
I got a cousin.
I got a story.
We're gonna go out there and go drink it, kid. We're gonna do some natty ice. Oh yeah,
I
kid.
fucking love that guy.
I love it.
Natty Ice.
This tattoo on my neck, got that in Worcester.
He's from Colorado.
Wow, you traveled far to
This
get that.
Boston tattoo would make the difference.
He's now permanently here. When I bought this at the Drumhill Liquor Store. Big ups to Drumhill Liquor Store.
Yeah,
when I
that's in North
bought this,
Chelmsford.
so I put it down and I was picking it up, and the reason is I get my bitters when I get my bitters delivered from near Patriots. Where's Patriots Place?
Foxborough.
Foxborough.
Yeah.
They drive up to
Where's
Drumhill.
Patriots Place?
They drive up to Drumhill, up to the liquor store, and I couldn't make it, so they leave it at the liquor store, and I'll go in and pick it up.
Yeah.
Well, I go in, I'm taking like 3 pallets of crap out, right, out of their store. I always kind of find that awkward, but they're nice about it. So I try to pay them back by buying stuff from their store.
Yeah.
So I was browsing around, I saw the Wigle label, I'm like, holy shit, I've never seen this anywhere, and I have their stuff, and I wanted to get it, so I picked it up, I put it on the counter, and the guy's like, dude, I so much want to get this. I'm like, you work here. And he's like,
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
it's still $50.
I know. He's like, I think I might pick that up after my shift tonight. I'm like, I would totally do that because I'm buying it right now. I'm a perfect advocate of it.
Yeah.
But I should have given my business card. So he
Great
could buy
people.
beers.
Great distillery. Great people.
So if you want to,
If you're
find
in
it,
Pittsburgh, go to the
yeah.
distillery. It's totally worth the tour.
and people will say, but you're always doing stuff I can't get in my area. I hate you because you're all.
Drink up?
I don't know if you can get a drink up. I'm not 100%. You can check jerkupnewyork.com. But the goal here is by seeing the labels. If you're at the store and you're browsing, you know, people, I don't know if you do this at a liquor store, you just like look around and see if there's anything new or something you've been looking to pick up, and you're like, oh.
Anytime if I make the effort to go to the liquor store, yeah, I mean, I'll walk around and see what the hell.
It's almost like a bookstore, right? You're just looking around.
You just want to see what
So,
they got.
my goal
and
is
then you get like, oh, can I help you find something? I was like, no, I just want to see what you have.
Right. So if you walk around and you see these labels of things we've done the show, and they'll, you know, now you can walk in and look at it and go, oh, I'm going to pick this up. And somebody there that knows what they're talking about is going to be like, that guy knows what he's doing. Or that girl knows
I'm
what
the
they're
most unsafe person. If you see me in the liquor store,
doing. You're going to kill somebody?
no, I'm the kind of guy that's like, oh, what do you like? And like, I don't even work there, and I'm like, oh, have you ever tried this? And have you ever tried this? And before you know it, you're like walking out with $400, and you're like, I don't know what just happened. That was crazy.
I've only done that in the tequila area when people had Jose Cuervo Gold in their hand, and I stopped them.
Dude, the Scotch section, I'm a monster.
I don't even
I'm a monster.
I wouldn't.
And I do it just because it warms my heart to know that I can still do it. Like I'm like,
Yeah, but there's-
so you like Scotch, do
But that's
you?
helpful because if you walk up to the Scotch section and you have that lost look on your face, like 99% of the people,
99% of the people.
they would do nothing but wish somebody could sit there and guide them and say, look, I've got $55, I've got $70 or $120. What should I do with it?
Yeah, but when
you go, you want this.
When you trust somebody and you give in to them, your checkbook no longer has any zeros. It has no limits because you're like, I trust you, and you're like, I'm not in your best interest. Like I don't care how much you spend.
Right.
Like
I will happily spend your money. And I don't even need to drink it. I just
so
want
this
to
thing called Port Ellen, it's very tasty.
You just pick it all up and
It's like my kid's tuition. 1, 2.
you want what's in that glass rack over there that they've locked up. That's the way.
That's the thing. Most people think that the store owners are smart enough to put things in the glass rack because they know that it's good.
This is gonna cost you.
It's not. It's not how it works. You want to find. Well, do we have time? We'll talk about this later.
That's it then. We're done. Go buy yourself some Wigle. Search it out. Look for labels. Be intelligent. We're done. Doug, Kurt, Derrick, we're teaching you how to drink.
See, like
He needs to know. Look at this.
no.